Starting a YouTube channel has completely changed my life. And I know that sounds very overly dramatic, but it genuinely has. It's quite literally been the reason or the driving force for how I was able to go from not being able to afford baby food for my newborn son to now, a year later, making over $100,000 just last month alone. And the reason why I've been able to grow my network of people I never thought I would ever know or who would even know me. For example, Gary Vaynerchuk is flying me to New York City to spend the day with him next month. All of this happened because of YouTube. And in this video, really my whole goal of making this video is not only to explain how YouTube has changed my life, but to reveal to you what I would do and how I would do it if I started YouTube over again from scratch today. And really quick, guys, if you want the exact system that I've used to grow several of not only my own channels, but also client channels past 1,000 subscribers, and honestly way more than that in less than 30 days, I just released a completely free YouTube growth course. No strings attached. The link is below if you guys want to check that out. All right, so jumping into it, when people think about YouTube, I find in so many of the conversations that I have every day, a lot of people think about the process all wrong. They think that YouTube is just about posting videos and hoping that they go viral. They think it's about luck, about the algorithm randomly deciding to pick their video to blow up or not. But that is not nearly even close to how it actually works. The real magic of YouTube happens really in a place where creators never even think to look in the first place. And it's the reason, again, as I said, I went from getting 0 views a video to now working with some of the biggest names on YouTube and in business. Now, some of you guys may know this. I don't know, maybe not. But about 2 years ago, I was editing videos to make ends meet. I was doing it for pretty big YouTubers at the time, pulling in millions of views per video. But here's the thing. I wasn't just editing at the time, even though that's what they thought I was doing. What I was actually doing, I was studying, I was watching their analytics, I was seeing their thumbnails and why they chose to test certain thumbnails over others. I was on their strategy calls with their team. I was reverse engineering their success literally in real time. And during this time, I had tried to make YouTube work. Just for context for myself. I mean, 7 to 8 years of posting videos that got 100 views on a good day, maybe 150 if I was lucky. 7 to 8 years of wondering why nothing was working for me. But those 8 years taught me what didn't work. And now working with these creators as this editor, I was learning what did work. So I took all of that, the failures, the lessons, the strategies that I was seeing behind the scenes, and I went full force into YouTube with a brand new channel focused on YouTube strategy. And I started posting videos, but I wasn't posting random stuff this time around. I was hosting value based on strategy. I was breaking down what I was learning. I was teaching people the strategies that I was seeing work at the highest level. And then something kind of wild started to happen, because it was at this point that my videos actually started getting views. Not just a few hundred, but thousands, and then tens of thousands, and then hundreds of thousands of views. My channel started growing, actually growing, and it started happening fast. And then people started noticing. I mean, Dan Martell's team. Yeah, Dan Martell, the guy who has 2 million subscribers, the guy who's built and sold multiple companies, the guy who's coaches entrepreneurs at the highest of levels. His team emailed me. They wanted to get on a call with me to pick my brain on content. Or Eric, he's an entertainment YouTuber who's friends with Mr. Beast, 17 million subscribers. He personally DM'd me on Instagram because he saw my content. Well, and then I started working with Max Pearson, who has won Skool games multiple times. He knows Alex Hormozi, Sam Ovens. Max is an entrepreneur I've looked up to for many years, and now I'm very close with him. I'm helping him grow his own YouTube channel, in fact. And as I said earlier in the intro of this video, just recently, Gary Vaynerchuk, like the really famous Gary V, he's personally flying me out to New York City in January, so a few weeks, because I won his stand challenge. And you know what I used to win it? My YouTube channel. My content, my ability to grow on this platform. It's all because of YouTube. Now, with that said, here's what I need you to understand from everything that I've said so far in this video. YouTube isn't just a platform for posting videos, it's a network accelerator. When you focus on creating value, when you focus on making genuinely good content that actually helps people, when you focus on growing your channel the right way, you're not just building an audience, you're building a powerful network. You're building relationships with people you would never have dreamed of ever building relationships with. Think about it. How else would someone like me who spent 8 years failing on YouTube get on the radar of people like Dan Martell, Eric, Max Pearson, or Gary V? There is no other platform on earth that gives you the kind of access that YouTube does. No other platform where you can go from 50 views of video to working with the biggest names in YouTube and in business. In less than a year, by the way. And you know what? When you grow on YouTube the right way, when you build a real audience, when you create real value, the opportunities, they do genuinely just follow. The network just follows. And yes, the money follows too. But it all starts with growth. It all starts with figuring out how to make this platform work for you. It all starts with this platform. That's how I went from nobody watching my videos that I put a lot of work and energy into to generating millions of views across mine and client channels all put together. It's how I went from editing for other people to having those same people now reach out to me. Not because I got lucky, because I figured out how YouTube actually works, because I got started with YouTube and I put in the work to make it actually happen. The network and the reach, that's huge. But there's something even more valuable that YouTube gave me, something that honestly I didn't even really realize I was getting as much as I am until I looked back on this whole journey thinking about this video and saw how much I had actually changed as a creator and a person. And it's something that no amount of views or subscribers can ever buy. It's something that will make you a better creator, open more doors than you thought possible, and create more opportunities than anything else you could possibly ever invest in that I know of. But first, before I tell you what that is, I want to ask you a question. If you wanted to get really, really good at, let's say basketball, I don't know, what would you do first? Well, you'd probably play basketball, right? You'd practice, you'd get on the court, you'd dribble, you'd shoot, you'd play games. You wouldn't just read about basketball. You wouldn't just watch basketball. You'd do basketball, right? YouTube's the same way, except the difference is when you're building a YouTube channel, you're not just learning one thing. You're learning 10 skills at the same time, under pressure, with real feedback from real people. There's stakes. I mean, think about what you have to do to make a successful YouTube video. You have to come up with an idea that people actually care about. That's market research and audience psychology. You have to write a script that keeps people watching. That's copywriting and storytelling. You have to design a thumbnail that stands out in the sea of content. That, my friends, is design and consumer psychology. You have to edit the video in a way that engages people to watch the whole way through and understand pacing and flow and editing. You have to optimize the title and description. That's SEO and marketing. You have to analyze the data to see what's worked and what's not worked. That is analytics and strategy. That's just one video. Now imagine doing that every single week for a year. Imagine how dangerous you would be. You're gonna get really good at all of those things. And the crazy part of it all is those skills transfer to everything else in life. I, because of YouTube, am a better communicator now. I can articulate myself and my thoughts way clearer than I ever could before, more concisely, because I've had to do it on camera hundreds and hundreds of times at this point. I am better at hiring and running a team because I've had built a team to help me scale my content production. I'm better at making creative decisions and doing it quickly because I've had to pump out videos at a fast pace while maintaining the quality. And I'm better at building businesses and offers because I've had to understand what my audience actually wants and needs and craft solution that can make me money. YouTube didn't just teach me how to make videos. It quite literally taught me how to think like a creator, but not only that, an entrepreneur as well. It taught me how to operate at a high level in a way that no course or book ever could. See, as someone who actually has a bachelor's degree in business and marketing, I can confidently say that YouTube is the best business school that you'll never pay for. Every single phase of working and building and scaling a YouTube channel teaches you skills that are worth tens of thousands of dollars in the real world. And just being able to constantly, weekly work on something that works you creatively, but also in an entrepreneurial sense, that's powerful. Because if you think about the greatest disruptors of this world, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, you know what they all had in common? And I know because I've read their autobiographies, they were all creative and entrepreneurial. Not one or the other. YouTube teaches you how to be such a disruptor. And with YouTube, you learn all of it by doing it, by posting videos, by seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and iterating on what does work. That's the only way to actually get good at something. I mean, the skill set YouTube gave me, it's worth more than any single viral video ever would be, because a viral video is a moment, but these skill sets that I have will last me forever. These skill sets are what's gonna keep my channel growing for years to come, or future channels. This skill set's what's going to open more and more doors that I don't even know exist yet. This skill set, it's what has allowed me to go from someone who couldn't get his newborn kid baby food getting 100 views a video to someone who's generated millions of views across all mine and client channels together and who has generated over 100K in revenue from YouTube in the last month alone. So if you want to be a better creator, a better marketer, a better communicator, a better thinker, a disruptor, start a YouTube channel. Not because you want to be famous, but because you want to become the kind of person who can build something from nothing and grow it into something real. All right, so we've talked about the network and the reach. We've talked about the skill set, but there's one more thing that YouTube gave me that I didn't expect. And honestly, it's probably the most important thing. It's the thing that made everything else possible that I previously just mentioned. And it's the thing that most people are just almost too scared to talk about, I feel like, because it's uncomfortable. But I'm gonna talk about it because it's the truth. Do you know that feeling that you get when you post a video that you worked really hard on, you spend hours scripting it, filming it, editing it, and it gets 200 views or less, and you're sitting there thinking, what's the point? Like, why am I even doing this? Why am I putting in all this effort and work? Listen, I've been there so many times. I remember when I first started taking YouTube seriously again after those like 7-8 years of failing. I posted a video, got 300 views. I posted another one, 400, 500, right? I was thinking, again, those thoughts crept up again. This isn't working. I shouldn't do this. I should just quit. But then there was the first time I had that choice again. I could either let that discouragement allow me to give up, or I could step back. I can analyze what wasn't working, and I could try again with a better strategy. So I tried again. I studied more. I tested different ideas. I improved my thumbnails, my packaging. I rewrote my scripts, my hooks. I made everything better. I made it more optimized. And slowly things started to change. And then I got my first video that hit 10,000 views. And I was ecstatic. But then the next video flopped again. And I was back at the decision point. Do I quit or do I keep going? Well, obviously I kept going. Then I started getting clients, people who wanted me to help them grow their channels. And I was terrified. I was so afraid of doing this. I was thinking, who am I to be helping these people grow on YouTube? What if I can't deliver? What if their videos don't perform? Well, there I was faced with that choice again. I could either let that fear stop me, or I could step up and become the person who could deliver. So I stepped up. I studied harder. I worked harder. I worked longer. I tested more. I got better, and I delivered. Their channels grew. Their videos performed, and I grew as a result. I grew. Then I started working with bigger and bigger creators with millions and millions of subscribers, creators who were getting millions of views per video. That same fear came back. Who am I to be working with these people? But again, I had that choice. Do I step up or do I shrink back? So I stepped up. Every single phase of this journey, it forced me to become a better version of myself. Every single phase put me in a corner where I had to decide either to level up or to quit. Every time a video flopped, every time I faced rejection, every time I felt like I wasn't good enough or I had imposter syndrome, I had to choose. And I chose to keep going. Now, here's what I need you to understand from this point specifically. YouTube isn't going to just teach you skills. It's not just going to give you a network. It's not just going to grow your channel. It is going to fundamentally force you to become a better version of yourself. It's going to force you to confront your fears and lean into them. It's going to force you to push past your limits. It's going to force you to become the kind of person who can handle success when it comes. And that is the most valuable thing of it all. Because you can have all the skills in the world. You can have the best strategies in the world. You can have the perfect thumbnail and title. But if you're not the kind of person who can push through when things get hard, who can keep going when videos flop, who can learn from failure instead of being destroyed by it, well, you're never gonna make it, especially on YouTube. YouTube made me into that kind of person. It opened doors I walked through that forced me to level up. That's what YouTube has done for me and what it could do for you if you let it. It will force you to become the best version of yourself, not because it's easy, because it's not, because it's necessary. Because if you want to grow a channel that actually matters, that actually makes an impact, that actually reaches people, that actually changes people, you have to become the kind of person who's capable of doing that. I made the transformation financially that I made, not because I was chasing money, but because I was chasing impact. I was chasing the ability to help more people, to give more value, and the money followed. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, cool, Dylan, this all sounds great, but where do I even start in this journey? How do I actually do this? How do I go from getting 100 views a video, if that, to getting thousands or even hundreds of thousands. The thing is, most people fail on YouTube, not because they're not talented. There's so many talented people trying to get on YouTube. They usually fail because they don't have a system or strategy, right? They're just throwing random ideas at the wall and hoping that something sticks and blows up. But hope is not a strategy. I would know because I spent 8 years doing just that. 8 years of hoping, 8 years of guessing, 8 years of failing. And you want to know what I learned, what I realized? I was failing because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know how to come up with ideas that would actually perform. I didn't know how to package my videos to get people to want to click. I didn't know how to structure my videos so that more people would watch them for longer. But then when I started working with those big YouTubers, when I started learning the strategies that actually worked, everything changed because I finally had a system. I finally had a strategy, a framework that I could follow. I finally had a process that was predictable. And that was really the breaking point that took me from getting a few hundred views a video to getting thousands and even hundreds of thousands on some videos. That's when my channel went from stagnant to growing faster than I could have ever thought possible. That's when everything clicked. So here's what I did. I took everything I learned, the strategies, the frameworks, the systems that helped me grow mine and other channels, and I put it all into a completely free course that you can join in the link below. And I did that because it would be way too long to put here in this video. It would literally be like 4+ hours. And by the way, guys, I'm not talking about some basic, hey, here's how to upload a video course. I'm talking about over 5 hours of in-depth training on how to predictably, step-by-step grow a YouTube channel. Inside, you're gonna learn how to pick a content niche that actually has an audience behind it and growth potential. You're going to learn how to come up with high-performing video ideas using the exact same methodology and strategies that I use with myself and clients. You're gonna learn how to master packaging, how to craft titles and thumbnails that actually get people to click on your videos instead of just scrolling past them. And you're gonna learn how to actually plan out, structure your videos with a system so that people watch all the way through and so that YouTube pushes your content to more and more people. You're basically gonna get my full A to Z viral video framework that I've used to go from those 50 views a video to hundreds of thousands. And I know, why free? What's the catch? I'm doing this because I remember what it was like to post videos that nobody watched. I remember desperately wanting to figure out how. I remember what it was like to feel like I was screaming into the void. I remember what it was like to feel like I was failing at the one thing I wanted to succeed at. And I don't want you to spend your next 8 years struggling like I did. I want to give you the system that actually works so that you can fast track your growth to start actually seeing real results with YouTube. So all I'll say is if you're serious about growing on YouTube, if you're serious about building a channel that actually reaches people, if you're serious about turning this platform into something that changes your life the same way it has mine, click the link in the description below and join. It's called the YouTube Blueprint. It's a community. Join it right now. It's completely for free, no strings attached. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.